Hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, for this week, what you have and what you should look over before the week starts and write it down so you know what's going on and you don't miss the quiz or the test. Today, we are doing a lab. That's it. That's all we're doing today. Then you're going to have tomorrow a screencast that goes with the activity. And then you're going to do the activity, and then you're going to have a quiz. And that's just going to be on S&P waves and earthquakes. Wednesday, you're going to have a review for the unit. Thursday is the test for the unit. Friday, we're going to start a new unit called Earth's History or Geological History. You are going to need your reference tables. If you do not have a physical copy and you have checked with your mail, the physical mail that you have gotten since September, because the school did mail them out to you or hand deliver them to your place of residence, you need to email me so that I can get it for you. You need your reference table. These things are necessary to pass this course and to pass the Regents. So far, we have used a little bit of page 1, a little bit of page 4 and 5, page 6 and 7, page 9, hold on, not 9, 10, 11, and we've used page 16. So that's it so far. Next one, we are going to be using page 2 and 3 and 8 and 9 and 7. Yes. We're going to be using all those pages. So you need your reference table. You definitely need it for the lab because you need a physical copy. You're going to be taking a picture of it and uploading it and sending it to me. Okay, so we are going to get to the lab. So what we're going to have in the lab is right here, you're going to have the determination of an epicenter. So you're going to actually be determining an epicenter. What I need you to do is to click on that and launch your gizmo. After you launch your gizmo, what I would like you to do, besides putting your name in here, because you always put your name on your documents stating that you have done them, 10 points off if you do not put your name on there. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to look at this prior knowledge thing. You're going to tell me what those epicenters mean, or not epicenters, these circles mean. And then you're going to draw an X in this to tell me where the one place where all three, pardon me, where all three could meet. How to do that? You double click, it'll bring up this drawing. You're going to go over here, click down to scribble, and you're going to be able to draw. Then you're going to save and close and X out of it. So is there any other spot where the three dots can meet? Explain. Now we're going to do the warm-up. When you use the Earthquakes 1 recording station gizmo, you learned how to find the distances from a recording station to the epicenter. With the Earthquakes 2 determination of the epicenter gizmo, you will use data from the 3 recording stations to find the exact location of an epicenter. So click play, then pause. When the seismographs are complete, compare the 3 seismographs. So what you're going to do, I'm going to X out of everything that I just had. So I'm going to restart this. I'm going to move these doohickeys over here. I'm going to hit play. You're going to hit the play, and then you are going to click pause when they're pretty much done at the end. Then you're going to compare the 3. How do you know which is closest to the epicenter? How do you know? My hint to you guys is how fast does it occur? Which recording station is the farthest from the epicenter? How do you know? All right, so you're going to click reset when you're done with that. So I'm going to reset it. Oh, sorry. Going all over the place. To complete this activity, you will need the table graph you made in the Earthquakes 1 recording station student exploration. Take this out now. So we are not going to have that. I'm going to pretty much go like this and just get rid of 1. So 1, we're going to measure. So first thing you're going to do is turn on show time probe. So I'm going to turn this on. You saw that I was messing with them. So the time probe, we messed with this, we were messing around with this in the last one. This one goes wherever the start of the S wave is. This one goes wherever the start of the P wave is. Turn on that. On each seismograph, locate the P wave and the S wave and measure the time interval for each seismograph. Then you're going to use your graph right here to locate the distance for each station of your epicenter. So when you do that, you're going to hit play. And they're done. So I'm going to look at the first one. It started right here. And I'm going to say the S wave is like right there. And I'm going to roughly say, hey, that was 20 seconds. So when I would click over here, I'd put in 20 seconds right there. And then what I'm doing in my reference table is I'm marking at the 0 and the 1 on this page, and I'm going to drag that until the distance matches. Or if you are like a genius and can figure out like the middle part, just where there's 20 seconds difference. So I find that's at 1,000, or no, sorry, 200 kilometers. So let's look, I'm going to look at B. I'm going to take you and put you there, and you go there. So 57 seconds. I'm going to round up to 60. So that means 1 minute. There's going to be a minute difference for my B. Yours is going to look different because they are all different. Let's see, where is 1 minute? 1 minute looks to be 400 to me. So I line it up. I line it up and then I follow the line down. The line down is 400. And then let's look at C. C is right here. And right about there. It looks to be, yeah, it's about the same. I'll go with 70 seconds. That way it's just a little bit different. So it's 70 seconds. That's a minute 10. Minute 10. And let's see. And that one is going to give me 600 kilometers. You can see I do have it sideways. It's 600. So I've recorded all that stuff down. Just what you would have done. I would have written the times down, so I would have put 20, 60, 70 seconds. Distance to epicenter, I would put 20, 40, 600, or 200, 400, 600. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in my results into this graph. So the first one, it says show station A. So my station A, I measured to be at 200. And my station B was 400. And my station C was 600. All right. So that was my answer. That's what I got. And then it says right here, because I did, hold on, I set the radius to the distance. Yep, from that based on your answer above, look on the circle on the map. Where could the epicenter be located? You're going to answer that. Where do you think, if I have right here, where could it be located? Where could it be located? All right. Well, I'm going to look at here. So look at the two circles. Which two places could the epicenter be located now? Here's my hint. The two spots where they intersect only. So right here, right there. All right. And then turn on that, set the radius to the distance of C. If you did everything right, you should see an epicenter symbol like that. If you did not, recheck your distances. You may need to adjust each radius slightly. Relative to the three circles, where is your epicenter located? So it looks like I might not have done mine too well. So if I did it right, if I actually did it at 400 where I should have, because I was doubting myself. Ugh. 400. Okay, so where is my epicenter located? And this is where you can use the grid. I would say 2 boxes to the right and about halfway down that box would be where the epicenter is located. Okay, and it did not show me that, but it did show me a nice little red dot. All right. Relative to the three circles. All right, so then after you're done with that, you're going to try to locate at least 5 more. So I want 5 of them. Each time you locate an epicenter, click the Tools palette and select Screenshot. Right-click the image and copy and paste below. So I require 5 of them. 10 points off for each one you do not put on there. You don't put the 5 on there, you get a 50. So you need all 5. All right, that is it for today. If you have questions, please don't forget to Zoom, email, or class tag me. Besides that, I hope you have a nice day. Bye, guys.